Shehu, Nigeria happens to you, so I'm old enough to understand my country. Nothing shocks me in Nigeria, save for, let me say that I was slightly taken aback by the reaction of the people. When you have, like I've described it, the captors who are in love with the captives who are in love with their captors. So that one left me a little bit dumbfounded, let me say, because I did not expect that reaction from the people. We campaigned vigorously around the state, and I know, Shehu, that the people, they really wanted to see change. But in the face of inducement of that magnitude, apparently they capitulated. Shehu, Akpata or Labour Party, I'm not saying we won the election. I am saying that there was no election, there was a transaction. So it's very difficult to now say, oh, who would have won or who would have lost.
Mr. Akpata,
300,000 votes by our estimation were bought by the two parties actively participating in that bazaar. Actively participating in that bazaar.
But
that is enough
Mr. Akpata,
to swing any election.
Yeah, there are those who will be asking, you were very confident that the average person was behind Olumide Akpata, that they resonated with your message. The Papa, Mama, Pikin, where were they?
Shehu, some stayed at home, but a large number came out and sold their votes. That's the point I'm making to you, Shehu. Shehu, you see, what happened was a tragedy. Let us remove focus from Olu Akpata and Labour Party and interrogate our electoral process. If voters in Edo State, and Shehu, let me tell you, members of my party sold their votes. So it's not just, it is something that we must look into closely. So Papa, Mama, Pikin, who were indeed, we were not sure of the process, but we're surer, or we had more confidence in the people. But the people decided to go for, freshly minted cash that was on offer. So for me, that was a lesson. That was a big lesson to learn. That if you think that you know the people, you have to think again and you have to look inwards. The level of deprivation, poverty in the land has made it such that the people are unable to connect the dots between their current situation and those who are the cause of their situation. I'm not making any excuses for the people. I understand, I empathize. However, the facts remain the facts. This is the scenario. So shall we, the Papa, Mama, Pikin that we thought would come out and say enough, as they told us when we campaigned to them that enough is enough. Our mumu don't do. We not go grieve for them again. Well, when they came and they found that there was so much money on the table, every other consideration was out of the window. That is exactly what happened. And I would like us not to focus on me, Olu Akpata, or the Labour Party. Don't focus on us. It's easy to call us sore losers, or it's easy to call us naive. You can say that, but please focus on what happened on Saturday. Because it is an ill wind that will blow no one any good. Like somebody said today, we are superintending over the destruction of democracy in Nigeria. It is unfathomable that a country like Nigeria, unfathomable that this kind of perfidy can take place in broad daylight in such a brazen manner. I think we should focus on that, Shehu. More elections are coming.
Nigeria is deteriorating at an alarming rate. In our very own eyes, we are experiencing the worst form of election in our history. Election that is not based on merit or competence, but based on transaction. I saw a video of a Labour Party supporter narrating what happened in Edo State. He said that majority of the people in this world voted for money. And he said something that was very, very profound. He said, how will you see food that you eat and you want to go and vote? You have to eat first before you vote. He said APC brought food and money and the people voted for APC. That they even saw Labour Party supporters voting for APC after eating and taking money from them. It's so crazy that a man will tour the whole state convincing the people to vote for him. And the people came out overwhelmingly and they promised to vote for him. You also saw the campaign of Olumide, but at least if you have been glued to my channel, you would have been seeing so many videos of his campaign. Olumide Akpata's campaign was filled with too many people, and these people were so enthusiastic for a change. They wanted to vote for him. They wanted a change in Edo State. They wanted good governance in Edo State. They resonated with the message of Olumide Akpata, and they were eagerly waiting for a new dawn in Edo State. But on the day of the election, everything changed because they were presented with money and food. This is the reality we found ourselves today. Nigerians are hungry, that they will trade anything they have for food. They will even trade away their future for the next 4 years for just a morsel of meal. Oh, I just remember what happened in the Bible. Esau traded his birthright for a morsel of meal. This is what is happening in Nigeria today. Nigerians are trading their future. Nigerians are trading the future of their unborn kids because of meal, because of money. Money and meal that will not last them for up to 2 days. This is what they are giving away. Just like Esau gave away his birthright for just 1 hour of hunger. This is what Nigerians are doing to their future. It's a very sad situation because after you've made up your mind that you want change in your country, on the day of the election, you will change your mind and go for food rather than changing your country. Most people are on social media mocking the Labour Party and the PDP for losing to the APC. After all, they shout that Edo no be Lagos, but they are not seeing the bigger picture. The bigger picture of what we are seeing is what we call the state capture. You need to understand that the federal government is keen on capturing every state in Nigeria, and they are using the weapon of poverty. They are using the weapon of hunger. The economic hardship we are experiencing in Nigeria today is deliberate. This is a deliberate sabotage to perpetually impoverish the people so that the people can take whatever is being thrown at them and sell their future. Just like what happened in Edo State. It should be a wake-up call to all Nigerians. What you experience in Edo State on 21st of September is a litmus test to what is going to happen in 2027. This current administration does not care about the people. They do not care about emulating the plight of the people. All they care about is 2027. Their body language is geared towards 2027. They want to win election at all costs, and they will use every tools at their disposal to ensure that they win election at all costs. They know that the magic they did in 2023 will not happen again in 2027 because the people now realize what they did in 2023. So they are going to use a different magic. They are currently using is hardship and hunger. People are hungry and they want to eat. They will sell their vote even with a plate of rice on the day of election. It's not even about money anymore. It is about food. The people want to eat to survive, and they will sell their vote on that day of election. It should worry every one of us because we are disintegrating as a nation. You are sitting down to ask yourself the consequences of this electoral malpractice we are experiencing in Nigeria, a situation where we are having elected officials that are not the will and aspiration of the people, a situation where we are having politicians who buy their ways to power, politicians who do not understand the plight of the people, politicians who are not sympathetic to the plight of the people, politicians who are not people-centric, but these are the same people that are overseeing the resources of the people. Don't you think that this is a recipe for disaster? Of course it is, because there is no how you will have this set of politicians ruling over you and they will work for your betterment. No, they will only work for their interests and the interests of those close to them. They will only work for the interests of their political godfather. They will only work for the interests of their political associate. They will only work for the interests of the people that ensure they became governor or whatever public office they are holding. This is the reason why governance has collapsed in Nigeria. This is the reason why we are having leadership failure. The problem is not that we don't have the resources and people to pull this country to a greater height. The problem is because we are having a leadership failure. And this leadership failure is as a result of years of election that do not represent the will of the people. Election that produce leaders who care about looting the state treasury dry rather than working for the people. Election that produce leaders that are patriotic to their party, patriotic to themselves, rather than being patriotic to the people and the nation. Just look around you. Every institution in this country has collapsed. Look at the EFCC that was created to fight corruption. The EFCC that was created to go after corrupt officials, to ensure that public elected officials are put on their toes. they will not embezzle money. The same EFCC is now being accused of taking bribe in order to make someone criminal offense go away. Look at what they are doing with Bobrisky. Bobrisky was meant to be charged for money laundering, but they took money from Bobrisky and ensured that his money laundering offenses disappear. Bobrisky was supposed to be remanded in a prison facility, but he paid money and he was kept in a private apartment. Whereas there are people that are innocent that did not commit any crime, they are languishing in DSS facility. Look at Nnamdi Kanu. This man has been incarcerated for the past 3 years because he's calling for freedom for his people. Someone like Bobrisky that was involved in money laundering is being given a private apartment because he paid money. Seeing the judiciary that was supposed to be the voice of the voiceless, the hope of the last man, the hope of the common man, the judiciary has now been torn as a political tool for the politicians. They now give ruling and judgment according to how much you bring to them. It was reported that in 2023, judges received the most bribe. This is a very worrisome situation we found ourselves in this country, and it is getting worse every day. The reason for all this is as a result of years of failed election, and this failed election is being orchestrated by the politicians and majority of the citizens. Yes, you and I, we are responsible for the fair election we have in this country, because it is our duty to ensure that we stick to our conviction, we stick to our vote. If we refuse to sell our vote, if we refuse to take food, if we refuse to vote based on tribalism, religion and party affiliation, we will not have leaders who care about themselves, leaders that are not patriotic to this country, leaders that will not work for the betterment of the people. So you and I, we are responsible for this failed election and failed leaders we are having. But you know the most unfortunate aspect of it, these leaders we vote into power, they are not suffering the consequences of our decision. And the ones that are suffering for this, how many of these politicians you see in the market buying food items? How many of them do you see queuing on the fuel station to buy fuel? How many of them do you see traveling on these bad roads that they cannot repair? You and I are suffering it. How many of them buy gas to cook food in their homes? You and I are suffering it. How many of them are suffering from housing issue? Tinubu is building houses for the judges. The National Assembly members have housing allocation. All this for the politicians, but none for you. You have to work yourself out to get money to clothe, feed and shelter yourself. But yet when it comes to election, you will sell your vote to them. You are empowering them to keep enslaving you. You are empowering them to keep stealing from you. You are empowering them to keep living in luxury while you live in penury. When are we going to realize that all our electoral decision is affecting us the more than it affects these politicians? When are we going to realize that we are the one that is suffering the consequences of all of this failed election? When are we going to decide to start making the right choices during the election period? When are we going to decide to start voting in competent leaders that will change this country for the better? Enough of this. Enough. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.